Welcome to the Progressive Action TV show. I kind of feel like Cuomo, like I'm going live too many times, but I just can't sit back and let these guys lie with impunity. So I have to come live and use this platform to dispute what they're saying and to also educate the members. So thanks for tuning in. Y'all guys know that when I first start out the show, I like to take the first couple of minutes to share out the show. The more people that know what's going on with us, the better that we are and the more educated everyone will be, because we're not enemies with the passengers. We're not enemies with the residents of New York City. We all are one. And we like to explain who is actually against us. So if you have some time, please share out this video, as I am going to do also. It only take 30 seconds. 30 seconds, share out the video. We not gonna be on too long today, but I got some important information for you guys that I think you guys should know about. And it's about safety. It's about safety. So if you're watching right now, please take the time to share out the show. Let me see something real quick. Take some time to share out the show, whatever the case is. So what we go get into first? Oh, if you want to donate on the platform, you guys already know. Cash App is Progressive Action 100. PayPal is Progressive Action. You can also become a subscriber to Progressive Action TV and the platform through Patreon. That link is in the description of the video. So I would greatly appreciate if you guys support the platform in whichever way that you can. Also, a lot of people been asking me about the shirt, to spread love, not corona. Once again, you can get the shirt on perfidel.com. That link is also in the description of the video. Now, I want to talk about the Local 100 fake fight. So I have a friend that's a part of 32BJ, and their union is actually doing the fighting for us for this whole hazard pay thing. They are holding the political people accountable for their actions or lack of actions. They're doing all of that, right? So I want to show you guys what 32BJ is doing now for their members. So 32BJ, as you see on the screen, they had putting together a town hall meeting May 22nd at 5:30 for the town hall with Mayor de Blasio. That is big. That is 32BJ inviting they members to a town hall meeting to confront Mayor de Blasio, getting their members directly involved. And it says, listen in as fellow 32BJ members and workers organizing with our union, ask the mayor questions about issues affecting members like you in this unprecedented and difficult time. So this is a shout out to de Blasio for even accepting that offer, but this is even a bigger shout out to 32BJ for putting their members in a position to ask the mayor those questions. Now, my question is, why isn't Local 100 getting us involved like how 32BJ is getting their members involved? Why isn't 32BJ organizing and mobilizing like why isn't Local 100 organizing and mobilizing like 32BJ? What is it? Do they feel that we aren't intelligent enough to explain what goes down on the front line that we work every single day? You know, what's going on with that? And the union, they proved three things to us during this entire pandemic. They don't know what's going on with us on a day-to-day basis. They don't care what's going on with us on a day-to-day basis. And they're afraid to go against Governor Cuomo with anything. And that's something that us members must pay attention to. We must pay attention to this. So once again, shout out to 32BJ for getting their members involved. And like I said, I'm gonna keep saying this because I like the quote, like Malcolm X said, we aren't outnumbered, we are out organized. We are not organized in Local 100, and it's purposely done to keep us out the mix. And this is how they control the power and things of that nature. Once again, if you guys just joined the live, can you please share out the show, share it on your Facebook personal page, share it inside a group. You can share it in multiple places. Please share out the show. You guys do not understand. The more people that know of our issues, the more people understand what we go through on a day-to-day basis, and we will create allies with this process. So I need you guys to share out the video. If you on Twitter, retweet the video. If you're watching live on YouTube, please take the link and share out the link. Now, the MTA just came out with a mask bulletin. And in this mask bulletin, the MTA is saying now we must wear face coverings while on MTA property. Now, and this is when social distancing, you can't social distance. So in bus depots, it's a little different. They got more space, they got more tables, they got more areas to social distance in, but not in subways. Subways, some terminals, you just can't social distance because it's just too many people. And on a regular, before the pandemic hit, sometime at the biggest terminal in the system, Stillwell, it's hard for you to find a seat to eat. In the locker room, all the chairs are taken. You don't want to eat in the locker room and you have your coworker coming next to you and he changing his clothes, taking off his shoes and things like that. It's 2020. We should not be working like that. So, and then in the midst of all of this, you have the MTA ramping up service. So they ramp, and we in the middle of a pandemic that they don't really know anything about. Their whole thing now is wear face masks and we're disinfecting, right? And people are still getting sick. So you ramping up service in the middle of a pandemic. You also want us to social distance while you're ramping up service. Where are we supposed to eat at? Where are we supposed to recover at in the middle of this pandemic? You can't ramp up service and then not make any concessions. They still have people sitting on board. They still have too many crews. You can't expect us to social distance inside some of these crew rooms and keep service running as if nothing is going on in the world and in New York City. You just can't do that. You have to pick and choose the side. And it's sad that the union has yet to hold the MTA accountable as far as picking and choosing a side. You can't have it both ways. We're not going to ramp up service and you want us to social distance. It just can't happen. If you want to ramp up service, you got to send people home with pay, or there should be no board work at all. The board list should be cut in half, or there should be no board work at all. You cannot have it both ways. Can't social distance in some of these places 6 feet apart and enjoy, recover and eat your meal and things of that nature. So I want to show you guys this picture right here. This is at Canarsie Rockaway Parkway, which is already small, and you must eat. So if you look at this picture right here, you see people eating. They got the X's out for the social distancing, but you can't social distance at a terminal like this. You just cannot do it. Where are my fellow employees supposed to eat at? Are they magically supposed to pass the food through their mask into their mouth and they eat? There's no way possible you could keep on a mask where you can't social distance at, and in that same space, they expect you to drink water. They expect you to eat your food. Where are we supposed to eat our food at? Do you guys got one of those trains out there, an office train? There's no office train at Canarsie. And now that I see that you guys put out this bulletin, I may have to make some phone calls to possibly shut Canarsie down. It's easy for me to get the media out there to show how hypocritical the MTA is. They put out these bulletins, but then we got facilities like this. You cannot have it both ways. This picture means to me, it says it's unsafe. It's unsafe for us to be in situations like this. But the MTA, once again, they don't care about safety. They only care about service. And that must change. It must change. And it won't change really until us members step up and say, hey, we will not accept this anymore. But this situation should be totally unacceptable. Now, this service over safety thing is becoming real sickening. And because of that, we have lost an egregious amount of coworkers. It's totally egregious. We should not be working like this. If you just join in the live, once again, please share out the live. The more people who know our story, the more allies we will have. That's just how it works. So I want to talk about a story that hit the news the other day, and it was regarding train operator Seth Rosenberg and him taking safety into his hands like he should, because the MTA is doing nothing for our safety. Trust me when I tell you, and to the public that's watching, when I say that the MTA is not doing anything for our safety, that also means you guys. If we aren't safe, then the riding public is not safe. If we continue to get infected, then you guys will continue to get infected. So you guys must pay attention as to what's going on. So train operator Seth Rosenberg, he blocked off the closest 2 seats to his operating position. This is the same practice that's done in buses. In buses, they block off at least 10 feet. You can't come within 10 feet of the bus operator. So he decided to cordon off the 2 seats that's closest to his operating position. What's wrong with that? There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But of course, when it comes to the MTA, it's always service over safety. So he did that article. Tim Minton, which I call him one of the MTA Spin Doctors, he's another protector of unsafe work practices, and he's basically doing what he's paid to do. These guys have no moral compass. They do not care about the rank and file worker. They only care about protecting their jobs and spinning lies. If Tim Minton was to come out today and say, hey, I was told to say this, or I must say what's best for the company, not what's best for the workers, he will be fired. He will not have a job tomorrow. So we must understand, when it comes to any one of these MTA press secretaries, PR people, spin doctors, they must say what's in the best interest of Pat Foy and the other executives, and what's in the best interest of Cuomo. If they was to go against that, they will be fired that next minute. That's a guarantee. But once again, where's the union? The union have alleged good communications people. They are consistently quiet in this battle, and they're quiet because we already know they are representing Pat Foy and Governor Cuomo more than the members. But like I said, Tim Minton, he said that this was unauthorized. What Seth Rosenberg did was unauthorized. And of course it was unauthorized, because you guys didn't authorize it for us. You guys don't care about our safety. So of course it was unauthorized. But let's make no mistake about it. Let's make no mistake about it. The word unauthorized is dog whistle for discipline. So remember, back on May 2nd, when we decided to wear masks, the MTA told us no, it was against uniform policy. That's a dog whistle for discipline. Tim Minton says it's in this article that it's unauthorized. Unauthorized is dog whistle for discipline. And they want to discipline, they're going to attempt, or if they didn't start already, because I didn't speak to Seth, they probably made an attempt to start disciplining him already. And that makes me very upset. Very upset. And we're going to talk about that in a second. Now, what Seth did, like I said, they do it in buses. And come to find out, they also do it in London. So I came across some pictures today of what's going on in London during this this entire pandemic. And this is what they doing. London, the executives, the transportation executives in London is actually taking their workers' safety serious. Unlike the MTA. This is another picture, a closer picture. So as you can see, it says do not stand in the vestibule, in the doorway vestibule. The big sign in the middle says do not enter this seating area or stand in the doorway vestibule. And the other one, the other sign to the right says the same thing. So, and this is not makeshift. Let's make no mistake about it. What's going on in buses is because the bus operators created that barrier. It's makeshift. It's not company designed. It's makeshift, right? What's going on in London is company designed. It's not makeshift. It's a sign from the company with a barrier up that provides social distancing from the operators. This is the company taking the initiative to protect their workers. This is not employees taking the initiative to protect themselves. And then you have people like Tim Minton, MTA Spin Doctor, coming on saying this is unauthorized. This is crazy. Pat Foy, he has made this an objective in his press conferences. He has said, we are world leaders and doing everything possible to protect the worker force. This is a blatant lie. As you can see, look what's going on in London. Now, London can say that they are world leaders and doing everything possible to protect their workforce. London could say that because they actually taking the initiative to protect their workforce. Pat Foy, Cuomo, Sarah Feinberg, Pat Warren, they are cold-blooded liars. They have been lying this entire pandemic, and it's sad and it's sickening. And this is why I have to go live more often. Normally I do one live a week. This is my third live back to back to back, and it's because they're lying and I just can't take it. And it makes me upset. The MTA is not world leaders in safety. They do not care. And the fact that I could just stumble across some pictures of what's going on in other countries that's actually taking their workers' safety serious, the MTA should be ashamed. The MTA should be ashamed. Very ashamed. And I want to make this clear to the MTA with their dog whistle language of against, using words like against, using words like unauthorized. When it comes to Seth Rosenberg or any other trained personnel out there that want to cordon off the closest seats to their position, especially after seeing what's going on in London, I dare you to discipline him. Listen to me. I dare you. I dare you to go out of your way to discipline an employee who cares about their safety and welfare of their family because of this coronavirus. I dare you. Trust me, I know more than what I say. I dare you to discipline him. And Seth, if they making the attempt, or any other operator out there, conductor, train operator, if they making the attempt to discipline you, please let me know. MTA, Sarah Feinberg, Pat Foy, Governor Cuomo, I dare you. If you feel so emboldened to continue to violate our safety, I dare you to write any one of my coworkers up who's making an attempt to protect themselves because you guys refuse to protect us. I dare you. And to all the MTA employees out there, if we're going to work in these conditions, if we're going to work in this hazardous environment, this deadly environment, this unsafe environment, we are going to do it on our terms, not their terms. You know what their terms got us? Their terms got us over 130 dead employees. There's no telling how many of us that was asymptomatic took this virus to our loved ones and killed them also. That's what their terms got us. Once again, MTA, if you feel so emboldened, I dare you to discipline any one of my coworkers. In fact, anyone who's working in a facility where you're packed inside and you have to eat, you have to recover, you have to drink water, and there's no office train for you to go to, there's no nowhere else for you to go, please contact me. Please contact me. I'm not playing with them. I am not playing with them. They could play with Tony Utano. They could play with all the VPs. I'm not from that cloth. I'm not from that cloth. Their terms got us over 130 dead employees. I could have took this virus home and killed my family members. This stuff got me so upset, man. So upset. Man, MTA, only thing I gotta say to you guys, I dare you. I dare you. I dare you. I dare you. I'm dead serious. I dare you. I'm dead. I dare you. I dare you. Let's get into this Cuomo live clip real quick, because you guys need to understand what's happening in the field with Cuomo and these facts and these opinions. You guys need to pay attention. He do a press conference every day where he's not giving out facts. Facts don't change in a matter of a week. He's giving out opinions and disguising them as facts. So let's listen to these opinions of what Cuomo is saying that he just did today. His live just went out today. So I want you guys to listen to Cuomo real quick.
We are still learning about this COVID-19 virus. And one of the things I find most infuriating is the facts continue to change with this virus. Nobody's fault. But since we didn't know about the virus, we had certain assumptions that quote unquote experts made, and those facts change from day one. From day one, it started that this virus was coming from China. So everybody's looking to the West Coast from the West, and it turns out the virus came from the East, came from Europe, and it walked right through our airports, and nobody was screening, and no one was doing anything. And that it was not in March. It was coming here January, February, and March. Virus was here much sooner than anybody knew. Fact was, if you have the virus and you have the antibodies, then you're immune. So we can put together a workforce that can go back to work people who had the virus and now have the antibodies. Now they're not so sure if you're immune if you have the antibodies. It started, children were not going to be affected by the coronavirus. Now we're not so sure that children aren't affected. And we're watching carefully this inflammatory syndrome that is starting to hit children who are COVID positive or have the antibodies for positive. Most recently, CDC says infected surfaces are not a major source of transmission. When we started, it was about infected surfaces, and you could get it from infected surfaces, and that was a major problem. We have a very aggressive disinfecting campaign going on across the state, public transit, etc. Now the CDC says that's not a major source. It's airborne. It's droplets. That's a major source. If the major source, if they're right, and the major transmission source is airborne, it takes you back to wear a mask. Wear a mask. And, this reminds me in so
You see how quick Cuomo narrative change? Now he's saying the facts change. Now it's nobody's fault. You want to know why he's saying it's nobody's fault? He's saying it's nobody's fault because he's the one who's been preaching and promoting that entire facts narrative this whole time. So of course he want to say it's nobody's fault because it is his fault. He's the one who's been telling us definitively these are the facts. How many times has he said that? These are the facts. These are the facts. These are the facts. Now the facts aren't the facts. And this entire time, like I said, Cuomo is a well-spoken politician. He's not an idiot. He's intelligent, but he knows how to play people. He knows how to get over on people. He knows how to speak to get what he wants and get people to believe in him. He wasn't giving facts that entire time. He was giving his opinion this entire time. Now, I need you guys to pay attention. They are now saying that the antibodies mean anything. And before, when they was like, if you got the antibodies, you're going to be immune. That's why they ramped up the antibody test so people could see that they got the antibodies and they could go back to work. That has now changed. So now you having the antibodies mean absolutely nothing at this point because they just don't know. They do not know. So we are truly unsafe at work because now that antibodies narrative means nothing. It means absolutely nothing. They don't even know if you guys or us are protected anymore. Now they're saying that the main transmission of this virus isn't surfaces, it's airborne. It's airborne. So let's make no mistake about it. There's no way possible you could keep a mask on 24/7. Just can't do it. If you work for the New York City Transit Authority, there's no way possible that you could keep a mask on your whole shift. How you're going to eat, how you're going to drink. You just can't do it, right? There's studies out there that say that this virus, the droplets of it, when it's airborne, could stay suspended in the air for 3 hours. So even if you're social distancing, nobody can microscopically see these virus particles in the air. You could be 6 feet away from someone and try to eat comfortably and you could still get infected by the virus. There's no way possible to defeat you, to combat against something that's airborne when you don't have the proper protection 24/7. It just doesn't work like that, right? I even seen studies myself that said 6 feet social distancing isn't enough. You need more between 12 and 14 feet. They not talking about that because if they talk about 12 to 14 feet, we won't be at work. There's no way possible for us to work. So they would never tell us that fact. Yes, if it make you feel comfortable to isolate to cut off your position 6 feet, or cut off 10 feet in buses, and cut off the 2 seats closest to the operating position on trains. If that make you feel comfortable, then do it. But scientifically, it means nothing. The air that we use is circulated. The virus is not going to say, hey, hold on, there's caution tape here. We will not go past this caution tape because that's just how it's just going to work. We're not going to go past this caution tape. Or on a bus, we're not going to go across all these seat belts tied up with each other and this little plastic saran wrap covering that don't go to the floor and ceiling. No, we're not going to go past that. That just doesn't make any sense. Scientifically, if the HVAC system is on in the train, then guess what? That virus can potentially pass through that system and come into your operating position and infect you. When you look at a bus operator position, they got air blowing on them, right? Buses are like test tubes of germs, right? So someone could cough in the back of the bus. The virus is not going to say, well, they got protection in the front. We're not going to go that way. The virus is going to go wherever that airflow goes. So if the airflow in the bus is being circulated, then guess what? You're still going to get infected. So yes, if it makes you feel better doing your job, blocking off those positions, then do it. But scientifically, it means absolutely nothing. It means absolutely nothing. This is just what they call that. It's like some 3-card Monty going on right now. It means absolutely nothing. These people are magicians. They just want to play on our intelligence. You know what I'm saying? And we are working unsafe essentially. Even if you have on a mask 24/7, these masks do not provide 100% protection. That's why they are N95s and not N100s or KN100s. There's KN95s. There's still a percentage chance of you still getting this virus, even with it being on 24/7. You guys need to understand that. We are still working unsafe. The MTA is still putting us in unsafe situations, and that is not going to change until we stand up and fight for our health and safety. And if we're going to work in these environments, like I said before, if we're going to work in these environments, we must work in these environments on our terms, not theirs. Their terms has gotten us over 130 dead employees. Quick break real quick. For those who want to donate to the Progressive Action platform, you could do so via Cash App, Progressive Action 100. And you could do it via PayPal, Progressive Action, and Patreon. That's in the link of the video. For all my Patreon subscribers, you get free discounts on clothing, 20% discounts on clothing for your commitment to the platform. I appreciate you guys. If you want to donate to the platform, you could donate through PayPal and Cash App, regular. But I'm dead serious. If the MTA is attempting to discipline anyone who's taking the initiative to protect themselves, to protect their families during this pandemic, please let me know. And to the MTA, I need you guys, if you guys never took me serious before, I advise you guys to take me serious now. I dare you to discipline any one of my coworkers for protecting themselves during this pandemic. I dare you. Thanks for tuning into the Progressive Action TV show. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.